Hello, my friend. Welcome in to your business mystery message tarot card reading today. So happy to have you here. If you are ready to jump into your messages today, all of the timestamps for each one of these readings is in the description box below. Make your choice based on what you're most drawn to, whether it's the card or the stone. Remember that my readings are here to offer you insight, not instruction. So please use your discernment and your intuition to navigate your situation as you see fit. Take what resonates and ignore what does not. Comment and like the video if your reading resonates and if it helped in any way. It allows me to connect with your energy and know that I'm doing a good job with these readings. So I have randomly chosen the 3 cards today. And if you would like a close-up and an official introduction, let me do that right now. For reading number 1, we have the Dreaming card with the opalite stone. For reading 2, we have the Void with the pink crackle quartz. And for reading 3, we have the Crossroads with the chrysocolla stone. So when you feel called and ready, head into the description box to click on the timestamp for your reading, and we'll see you over there. Hello, my dear reading number 1 who chose the Dreaming with the opalite stone. I feel a sense of excitement. I feel you might be dreaming of a new business, dreaming of maybe getting out of your current 9-to-5 or starting your own thing, doing your own thing. So right now you're in this mode of dreaming of what that looks like, dreaming of what that feels like, and maybe even exploring some emotions that are coming with that. I also feel like you might be in somewhat of a restrictive place, which is maybe why you're dreaming at this time. We have Saturn here, and Saturn is all about responsibilities, lessons, structure, organization. So that could be part of your message today, is that there needs to be a structure or some kind of foundation built first before you can jump into this new thing. We also have a house here, and that is also indicative of structure and having those firm foundations, because I feel there's going to be a lot of fluidity and a lot of things that change once you start your business. I do feel like whether you're starting or maybe making changes within your current business, I feel like whatever the next stage is going to be quite fluid in nature. So lots of moving parts, and I feel that because of that, that is why you need some kind of structure to anchor yourself into or to root yourself into, so that you have some sense of grounding and direction. We are going to pull some oracle cards now to just open the reading up and get some starting messages of reading number 1, starting or running their current business. I almost wonder if there's something, a new direction that's coming for you as well, regardless of whether you're starting or running a business here. Or maybe just that structure and foundation is needed a little more. Let's see. 3 cards. Yeah, I did mention that there was some kind of barrier to moving forward, and it was your first card out, so I do feel like that is a challenge here. And bottom of the deck we have Observe. So we have barrier in your challenge position, we have Approve in your guidance position or your opportunity, and Soul in your outcome. I do believe you're moving to something that feels a little more soul aligned or soul led, little bit more heart-led, but I feel like there's a barrier to doing that right now because this is a moment to observe. And this approval almost feels like this is an opportunity to really be sure about what it is you are wanting to step into, what it is you're dreaming of, making sure that there is roots, there is foundations, and not just something that is within the mind or something that feels very, I don't want to say fly by night, but something that feels very elusive, like it's here today, gone tomorrow. I feel like there needs to be that structure or organization in place. But first, before that happens, you have to observe something. And I'm not sure if that is observing the finances within your current business, observing maybe the contracts or things that you have approved moving forward. So there almost feels like there's an editing of something here. And if you are in a career, let's say, or in a job and you're dreaming about starting a new business, I do think that this is observing maybe the right moment, the right time, how to prepare and structure moving into this new phase of working for yourself. So let's get some more cards. For reading number 1, please. Reading number 1. What is this barrier? Okay, you got 2, so there could be multiple. So there's something about secrets, running from problems, and delivering news or collaboration. Something about predicting the future, of wanting to know what the path looks like, of wanting to predict what direction to take, where to go. And there's almost an astrological connection here. So maybe you're waiting and observing for the planets to make the right transits in the sky for you to kind of find the perfect time to jump into something new here. But there's also this sense of wanting to escape where you are, of wanting to give yourself or have some kind of freedom, but you're stuck. You don't have the key quite yet. So again, I just feel like maybe there's somebody that you're going to meet at some point that will open the doors for you, or will be a lovely collaboration for you to partner with. So this almost feels like a timing thing as well. What does this approve? Self-protection and dual natures. With the twins, I'll show you that. This feels very Gemini energy, and we are in Gemini season at the time of this reading. There's almost this waiting for approval energy with this as well. Maybe there's some comparison going on, or there's 2 kind of energies at play at this time. There's like a fear of moving forward into something new, but there's also this fear of staying where you are currently. This could also be something to do with receiving approval from an equal or a partner in your life as well. So there could be an opportunity to maybe connect or collaborate with them in some way, or maybe you're having challenges in that, where you're not getting the collaboration or the support that you need, and so you kind of want to run away and do it yourself without having the approval of anyone else. This almost feels like you need to give yourself permission, in a sense. Permission to start moving in this direction, start planning, and have it not just be a dream, but to move forward in spite of the conditions not being quite perfect, because it's not going to show up in this perfect, harmonious way. So you have to give yourself approval and permission to proceed, at least starting to walk in that direction. What is the soul? It's way too many. What is the soul? And we got 2 again. So the orator, communication and confidence, and the painter, productivity and creation. So I'm getting this feeling like you could be creating something that is completely from the soul. I mean, these cards are just kind of clarifying that for us here. The painter is an energy of action and putting your creativity to work, being productive in applying self-expression. And the orator is very similar in nature, but it's a different method. So there's 2 methods coming through. And I feel like speaking or communicating with confidence, stepping into that leadership role and expressing yourself in some way, speaking about your work, speaking about your business, speaking about the whys are going to be really important. And so maybe that is something that you fear, because it is where you're headed if you're willing to move through some of the challenges and look for the opportunities in this space. And see, I mentioned leadership, the captain taking command and teamwork. So maybe you need to learn how to do this at this time. Now, that's not to say you're going to jump from where you are to leadership, but it's all about taking the steps in those directions. And eventually, when you're looking at things and observing and then looking back, it's like you can see the growth. But yes, it is about taking command. And we have another energy of collaboration here with teamwork. But and we also have another dual nature here because we have 2 lanterns. So again, I'm getting that feeling of a partnership that might be incoming or somebody that you meet that you can collaborate with. This almost feels a little bit destined or fated. But you are stepping into some kind of creative energy, some kind of self-expressive energy. And that might be really terrifying because it will expose a part of your soul. Maybe you're writing. Maybe you are illustrating or actually painting. Maybe you're teaching. And so that's going to require you to be comfortable stepping in front of people, be comfortable speaking about your work. So it's almost like in this energy, because you have the barrier in your challenge position, it's like there's a sense that this isn't for me because this barrier is here. So maybe I'm not going to try, or maybe I'm not going to bother. I'm going to wait for the timing to work it out. Or maybe you're having trouble with a current partnership. Now that could be in a current business partnership, or a romantic partnership. Or if you're in a job, maybe this is about how do I deliver the news to my boss? So there could be some self-protectiveness happening in that as well. So let's get some tarot. What is this barrier? More information, please. So we have the 2 of Pentacles. We have more teamwork and collaboration here. I almost feel like that was for that one. What are the twins and approve, please? Knight of Pentacles, a lot of earth energy. So I think you're I'm feeling like the grounding energy is getting there. What is the soul? What is the soul? Yes. with the Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, so there are definitely feelings of conflict here, maybe some inner tensions, maybe some self-sabotage as well. I feel like that self-protection is coming through here with the Five of Swords, because it almost feels easier than stepping into what you're dreaming of, because there's almost this feeling of, can I do it? Can I break through the barriers to be able to do this with success, do this long term? Now, Two of Pentacles in reverse and Three of Pentacles in the upright, clarifying the barrier. This is Jupiter energy. It's Jupiter in Capricorn, so it's feeling a little like you can't manage everything on your own. It's like, how can I, and I almost wonder if that's a part of that too, is there's teamwork that's required in order for you to get this off the ground. Because as it stands now, it almost feels like where you are is feeling too much to handle, to manage, to be successful, to see the growth that you want to see. But as soon as you add a third person or that extra helping hand, you all now are kind of working to your strengths in order to see that growth happen in this business. So the barrier could be in part because you're trying to do everything yourself, and you need that collaboration in order to see the growth that you want to see. And this Three of Pentacles is Mars. So this is taking action. What actions do I need to take in order to support this growth that I want to see in my business? Yes, maybe you have to hire somebody, or maybe you need to come into partnership with somebody, but what does that actually look like in reality? Like, what is it that I need to do in order to do that? In order for your dream to expand here. Now, the Page of Pentacles in reverse, yet another pentacle. And pentacles are earth energy. They are how we spend our time, utilize our resources like our money, and overall our physical body, our physical environment, our foundations, that earthly energy. Page of Pentacles is in reverse here. So this is a feeling of starting and stopping, of wanting to, but not investing enough time, money, or resources into this new thing to get it going. Now, that could be because your energy is being spent elsewhere, or your money is being spent elsewhere, so there is no resources to invest in this thing quite yet. But there's almost a feeling of having to assess or observe how important this next step or this growth or this dream is. Like, how important is that to you? What does that mean for you if you were to achieve this? And is it important enough, again, to pull your resources away from something else to get it going? So that might mean working a 9-to-5, and instead of spending the evening watching Netflix, maybe you spend the time dedicating, a few hours in an evening or an hour in an evening on where you'd like to go, and sort of doing this as a bit of a exercise on the side for a time. Or maybe you have to not invest your money in a certain area of life so that you can invest in the new thing. So, for example, moving from products to service, maybe you stop bringing in new products or re-upping the inventory when it gets low, and instead using that money that you earn on the current inventory for that new thing. And then the Soul. I definitely feel I'm getting something else now that this card is out on the table with the Two of Cups, because the Two of Cups is all about that intimate relationship with one other. So it's you and another person. This could be a romantic connection, but because we're talking business, this could be a partnership where two people with two different skill sets come together. Again, I'm getting that energy of teamwork and collaboration, because I feel you're having a lot of conflict with doing everything yourself, and you're not able to move forward. This is also very dual in nature. So there's a masculine and a feminine coming together. And this isn't gender specific. This is the divine feminine of receiving, of allowing, of going with the flow. And the divine masculine, which is taking charge, making decisions, moving forward, spending time, energy, money on moving the needle, of earning income, of starting projects, of initiation. So there's almost that coming through here as well, where there's two different personalities or skill sets coming to the table that you're somehow either coming together with or are consolidating in some way. And I feel it is going to take two parts of yourself, maybe a partnership of some kind or some kind of teamwork. But essentially, you have to step into this leadership role in order to make the decisions that you need to make, maybe to choose the employees or the contractors or the partner that you connect with. But it's all about taking that action, but also taking the time to observe. Again, it's that divine feminine energy. So, yeah. And assessing what's not working. I just took a peek under there. 7 of Pentacles, more pentacle energy in reverse. So there could be a metaphorical leak in your time, energy, money right now that needs to be pruned, that needs to be cut off, that needs to be reprioritized in some fashion in order for you to step into this new dreamy energy or this new expansive energy that you want to see in your business. But all in all, I think the step is a positive one. It's about expressing your dreams from a very soulful place, from a very heart-centered place, and from a very balanced place. So this is what I have for you, my dear reading number 1. I hope these messages were helpful. Do let me know if they were in the comments. And until we meet again, stay curious, and I'll see you soon. Hello, my reading 2, and for those who chose the Void and the Pink Crackle Quartz. I feel something exciting is happening in this Void, although you might not feel that way. Right now, you could be in the center of this void, of this black hole, maybe dark night of the soul or valley of despair in your business. Maybe a lot of things are changing and you're not really sure when this might end, when you're going to move beyond it. So right now, there's just a gap from where you're coming from and where you're going. There's a lot of questions, possibly more questions than answers. And maybe you're just kind of moving with the changes. Like, it's almost like you can't keep up with how much things are changing. Or maybe they're not changing at all and you're just in this slump of not knowing how to change things. So let's hop straight into your reading, and we're going to open with a few oracle cards from a couple of different decks, and then we'll get into the tarot to clarify. Okay, so regret in your challenge position, guidance or opportunity for reading 2, please. The Void. Balance was in reverse. I'm going to keep it that way because it felt very intentional. And outcome. Okay, that's a lot of outcome. We're going to do it again. For outcome, for reading 2, please. Okay. All right. With ponder at the bottom of the deck. Oh, and there's your bridge. So moving from one place to another. I don't think it's going to require action, to be quite honest. Okay, so regret is in your challenge position. I do feel like you have some regrets, especially if you are finding yourself in a very challenging time within your business, maybe this dark night of the soul where you have a lot of questions. You're questioning your value, you're questioning what you did wrong, you're questioning everything, your beliefs, where you'd like to go, how you want to get there. And I feel like you feel you've taken a wrong turn somewhere, and that is what got you in this void. Like you're putting all the blame on yourself. And so you have a lot of regrets. I should have done this. I should have done that. And that is your current challenge and possible barrier that you have to move through. Now, the opportunity in this space is to bring yourself back into balance and looking at the areas where you feel out of balance or feel misaligned in some way. So maybe there's certain parts of your business that you no longer feel connected to like you once did, or you no longer feel excited about, or it's like you've outgrown something. So it's like you have to look at where, I almost think that it's time too. That's why this is happening, is that you have experienced growth in your business, but I think it's internal growth more than external. And there have been things that have been out of whack for a very long time, and you've tried to correct it. But this isn't about necessarily correcting the imbalances. And it's interesting that connecting wanted to come through so strongly. I feel like there's something that you need to connect to instead. So it's not about fixing. It's not about going back. It's not about creating, not about continuing with what you've been doing, because what you've been doing is no longer working. So it's about correcting the imbalance by moving forward, in a sense, and looking within of what is no longer aligned. And connecting with that part of you, maybe connecting with a new vision or a new self. And the outcome, I think you will get to a place of forgiveness. You will get to a place where you've understood things from kind of a higher point of view. You can see the forest from the trees. It's interesting that you started the reading in the forest here with this regret card, and you're looking up at the moon and the stars. But here, you've floated above and beyond the trees. Mind you, they're different trees, but stay with me. You know where I'm going with that. And so you're getting this higher perspective of, oh, well, this makes a lot of sense. I never really wanted to build that kind of business, or I never really wanted to sell that thing. So, yeah, that's kind of where you're headed, is this forgiveness, or maybe just an understanding of where you're going and where you came from and why. And there's a pondering that happens in this space, or should happen in this space. I don't feel like you should rush to fix or to make things the way they used to be, because I don't think that's possible anymore. I think that this imbalance in your current situation is kind of here to stay. So something needs to evolve. There's an evolution that happens. And the only way you can kind of see through that is to ponder, how do I bridge this gap? And that's going to be different for everyone. I don't think that I'll be able to give you any answers specifically, but we'll see. Underneath that is awaken. So I do feel like this is a bit of an awakening for you. You're waking up to something that I feel has been lying a little dormant in your energy. So what is this regret? Let's get some more information. What is this regret? You got 2. Okay. Oh, okay. So you have the Sailor, new influences and wanderlust. And you have the Witch, experimentation and rebellion. I feel like you're not afraid to take risks. You're not afraid to go into uncharted territory. But for some reason, you're feeling like that is a liability. And maybe that's what you have regrets about. It's like, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. You're being really hard on yourself, is the feeling that I'm getting. But this is your nature. I feel like you just are this person that isn't afraid to try new things, that isn't afraid to take risks, and to rebel against maybe the status quo, to alchemize something too, to wander to new lands. And maybe you feel like that is what got you into this position of the void, of not knowing what to do or where to go. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're Sagittarius. Maybe you're Pisces. But I'm getting this feeling of always needing to move or change or adapt. Like, I don't think you're afraid of that, but for some reason, because you're in this void, it's like, oh crap, maybe I did this to myself. But I think it's just the nature of things, maybe the nature of your business, or the nature of the economy, or the nature of what your business is meant to evolve into. Maybe that should be part of your business in some way, where there is certain aspects that change and move with the tides. Okay, so let's see what this opportunity, the guidance is. Self-expression and strength with the Dancer. And with this being paired with the Balance in reverse, I almost get the feeling like a dancer who feels they can't dance, or a dancer that feels like they have two left feet, when in actual fact they're really good. Like, I just feel like you're really good at what you do. You are not afraid of even expressing yourself with great courage and strength and leadership. Getting into your physical body could also be something that you need to do at this time to restore some kind of balance or recalibrate your energy. So I think that's what's throwing you off balance. It's not necessarily about the business, although there could be some things within the business that needs to come back into balance. But I think you need to come back into balance. And again, that alignment is coming back again. Grounding yourself in being proud of who you are as a business owner, and building a business that is authentic to you and how you would like to express and move. I want to say that there are no rules. Like this, I feel like you're carving your own path, which is almost why the void is here. It's like nothing exists in this place. This is a space of opportunity, not darkness, even though it might feel like darkness. But this is an opportunity to create what you want, to create something truly unique to you. What is this forgiveness in the outcome position? What is this forgive in the outcome position? The astronomer, there you are in the sky again. Discovery and augury. It was in the sideways position, so due to space, I'm just going to put it on its side there. And yeah, there's a lot of ambition here, but you've also experienced some setbacks as well. So maybe that's the question, is like, should I carry on? Should I completely reinvent myself or reinvent the business? So you're pondering a lot, maybe regretting some past decisions, but you still have that ambition. And you might even be at this crossroads too. So the crossroads card, or the reading number 3, might be of interest. I haven't done that one yet, so I have no idea what the context of that's going to be. But as I mentioned, in your first card, you're kind of on land or in the forest. And that almost gives me the feeling of like a witch in a forest. And here we have a boat on water. So again, that very earthly, grounded energy. And then you have the astronomer, which is in the sky, or looking to the sky, or seeing things from a higher perspective. And there's also a sense of intuition coming through. So moving with your intuition, moving with the more spiritual side of you, of what feels right. And there's this feeling of thriving in the shadows. That's part of what this card's meaning is about. is that you see the stars, the opportunities, the glimmer of hope, the creativity in the shadow, because that's where the brightest stars exist. So I think if you stay here in this regret, your business, or maybe even you, won't evolve into what it needs to be. So it's almost like you have to dance in the darkness and continue to self-express and find ways to be inspired. That will bring things back into balance somehow. And there's also this element of spirituality that comes with that astronomer as well. And yeah, it's about looking above and beyond for the answers as well as within, to forgive whatever mistakes that you've made, because they are informative. They're not failures, they're information. They're lessons to take with you and to create from. So this is almost like, what is your gut telling you in a way? Let's get some more information with this regret in the challenge position. See? If you stay in this regret energy, regretting or even repressing who you are, you're also repressing your intuition and what you know within that gut feeling. And the High Priestess is oh my goodness, can I speak? Is ruled by the moon, and you have the phases of the moon here. So there's almost like a cycle that you need to break, or a cycle that you need to come back into within yourself. A rhythm with the Dancer here too. Why is this balance in reverse? In the opportunity position. Why is this balance in reverse? Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, the opportunity, I feel, is to build something of, I want to say new substance. But there's also a sense that you're focused on the wrong things. I don't want to say wrong things. You're focused on things that are more material in nature. And that could be a requirement at this time. So what I will suggest for the guidance here is there's an energy of endings here, of needing to kind of let go of some kind of security in order to move forward. But there's also this sense of finding security in your finances to be able to fully explore and step into whatever's next, into your fullest expression, to help give you the strength and that balance within the material world to explore this without worry. And to be able to find the security that you need and the financial comfort or stability of some kind to be able to turn this High Priestess back on here. Now, you could have actually made a little bit of money and have a little bit of savings built up that you can lean on. So that this might be the time to do that, but use your discretion there. Now, this also is about legacy, and I think there is this energy of aligning to what you feel is true to you and what you want to leave behind for people. Like, what do you want to build that others can be inspired by? Maybe providing some kind of stability or security or comfort to others in some way in the physical world. Maybe it is through dance. I'm not sure. So what does this forgive? And the outcome? There is that message again. And the Emperor in reverse. Yeah, something knocked you off your path here. Because the Emperor, okay, the Emperor rules all the kings. And the Emperor has every single one of the aspects of the kings within him. So therefore, he can build an empire. And where was I going with that? Well, we have a king here. King of Swords. So I feel like you might have the grounded energy You might have the emotional energy or the intuition. You might even have the creativity and the mastery of your energy, of knowing where to put your energy when it comes to your vision. But I feel like the King of Swords needs to be activated in order for you to truly unlock this Emperor in its fullest expression. So the King of Swords, and again, it's beautiful that it's paired with this kind of higher perspective energy, because that is the King of Swords here. The King of Swords has learned a lot and has applied what he knows, but also has been able to filter out and discern what's going to work, what makes the most sense, what's logical, what is the clearest path forward. Like, there is no emotion in the King of Swords. There isn't necessarily a practicality either. There is just this energy of, I know. And that's a really nice outcome, because you start with a little bit of I don't know, or I don't trust, to I fully trust what I've learned. I fully trust my decisions. I fully trust that I can make decisions and make new ones down the line if I do have a change of heart or a change of mind. But this is an energy of getting above and beyond the fog and everyone else's opinions, to forge something that is aligned with your truth, to transform everything that you've learned and apply it, to gain a higher perspective and not see this experience as the end, to not even see this experience as who you are. So again, it's just very clear. It's very almost like, I don't want to say cold, but very cutting and to the point. This king doesn't beat around the bush. And I feel like that's the energy you have to have after some pondering, after some recalibration, is that once you know, and you'll move forward. Now, also with the Emperor in reverse, there could be a lot of need to control all of the little details. So be aware of that. It's not necessarily about controlling every little aspect of this journey. This is about only controlling what is within your power, what is within your mind, your heart, your body, etc. And everything else, just as long as you have a goal that you're aiming for, and it's a very clear goal, which I think you're going to get to, that clarity of mind, then it's just about taking those aligned intentional actions. And the details of what happens and the results and the outcome and the when and the how, that all needs to fall away. So there needs to be a little bit of release of the control of things, if that applies. And the Emperor is also about foundations as well. So again, feeling a little bit unstable in this void and not really sure about whether or not you can bring your vision to life, that's okay. Don't let this set you back. Use this as fuel to move you forward. So these are the messages I have for you, my dear reading number 2. I do hope these were helpful. Let me know in the comments if they were. Until we meet again, stay curious, and I'll see you next time. Hello, reading 3, and those who chose the Crossroads card with the Chrysocolla stone. Now, there could be a couple of things happening for you. You could be literally at a crossroads and making decisions within your business, maybe thinking of making some big moves or big changes, not really sure what, maybe ending a business, starting a new one, or you could have multiple options, multiple opportunities, multiple ideas that you'd like to implement, and you're just not sure which way to go or how to make the decision. So this could be a decision-making kind of reading for you, I'm not sure. But let's get straight into the reading. For reading number 3, please, Crossroads. What is the challenge for reading 3? Okay, flow is in reverse. I usually don't take oracle cards in reverse, but when they come out that strongly, I do. see, your opportunity in this moment. I feel like your flow is blocked. And I'm not sure if that's because of, okay, this could be why. Because of the crossroads. But as this card says, there's something that may need to be revisited. And then the outcome, please. Where you're headed. Where you're headed. For reading 3, please. And this one, again, reconnect is in reverse with receive at the bottom of the deck. So this to me isn't a time for taking action, just based on the cards. Again, use your discernment, your intuition to do what you need to do and do what is best for your business. But in the challenge position, we have flow. And it was in the reverse. So I do feel like your flow is blocked. You might be experiencing some kind of block, a creative block, or just a block to moving forward. And I think there's a reason why. We have revisit in the guidance and the opportunity position. So there is something here that I feel you need to revisit, look at, address, correct, in order to move forward and find some kind of appropriate decision to move forward. And then reconnect in your outcome is in the reverse position. So I almost wonder if there is something that you are breaking away from. So you're not reconnecting. It's almost like you revisit something and then you disconnect from something because you've realized that something's not working. And then we have receive at the bottom of the deck. And receiving is very divine feminine energy. It is going with the flow. And that's interesting that's on the bottom because we have the exact opposite in your challenge position. So I do feel like this isn't a time for ambitious action or starting something new. This is a moment to receive and revisit. You could be receiving a message from within your intuition, within that gut response or that gut feeling of this is what I should do, or you're going to receive some kind of opportunity or information that allows you to get information that you didn't have before. But I feel something needs to be looked over. Could be a contract. It could be looking at your expenses or your finances with a little more detail. Something undercover, something that has been overlooked. Yeah, and it's something that you want to disconnect from. So if it's like a subscription that you haven't used in 6 months, but it's like $50 a month, this is time to like cut the ties on that. And as soon as I feel like you revisit something and discover like, oh man, I've been paying that subscription for 6 months and I haven't even used it. It's like, think now you're $50 richer every month. So I don't know. That's just one example that's coming through. Let's get some more cards out. Why is this flow in reverse? Missed opportunities and fear of failure. So I feel like you're not in flow because there's an activity. There's a busyness. Because you are fearful of taking pause. You are fearful of being in that receiving mode, of maybe going on autopilot for a time. You want to keep progressing and keep being productive, keep going, keep doing, keep looking for opportunities, because there's a fear of stopping. And that is actually blocking the flow of what you would like to happen. Because I feel that doing and that going is preventing you from seeing the opportunity or preventing you from seeing something, period. So I think that's why Spirit's coming through with this guidance of something needs to be revisited because you've missed something. And I don't think it's an opportunity. I think in all of the busyness and all of the doing and trying, forcing flow, trying to find something, trying to do something, succeed at something, progress, it's like, but what about that thing over here that you're not seeing because there's so much activity? What is this revisit? And that was in the reverse, so I'm going to take it too because it felt very strong. Rediscovery and transition. Now, revisit and the Weaver. I do think it's not a rediscovery, I think it's a discovery. It's like the revisiting will help you transition, but it's almost like something needs to be unraveled here. Discovered and unraveled. And what's interesting, this is very intuitive interpretation of the card, but when something is at the top of the card, especially when it's something in reverse and there's mountains in the background, that means that, to me, that the challenges are overwhelming. Like you feel you can't overcome the challenges because the mountains are kind of at the top, at the forefront. And the hands, which is this activity of I'm weaving, I'm doing, I'm knitting, and I'm focused, is above the eye, which is the seeing, the observing. So again, I'm getting that coming through again. The doing is overshadowing the seeing, the discovering, and quite possibly the unraveling that needs to happen. And I don't know if that is like something within your business that needs to be let go of or unraveled, or the business itself needs to be unraveled first before you can start something new. I don't know. What is this outcome in, and why is this reconnect in reverse? Reconnect in reverse. Okay. So we have aspirant, ambition, diligence, and setbacks. And that was kind of in its reverse position. It's almost like you're not meant to connect back in with the same kind of ambition or drive that you once had. And I think that's a good thing because there's something about balance that's coming through. There's something about balancing go and flow and not having fear about missing out or fear of the bottom falling out if you stop or if you simply just allow for a time. Now again, with secrets being at the bottom of the deck, running away from problems here, there's almost like, I feel like there's a secret want or desire to unchain yourself from, I want to say, this rat race or this cycle or being on this hamster wheel. So I think there's a process that is shifting or going to shift quite significantly in your business to where there is a little more balance. And maybe instead of having setbacks, you're able to see the setbacks before they happen. Not in every case, but I feel like pacing yourself and going slower and balancing those energies are going to allow you to disconnect and to receive or do in a certain way than you have in the past. And again, we have the hands over top of the keys. So it's like the doing. For some reason, I'm seeing digging in this card. It's like you have to dig for something. You have to... Oh, I'm not sure about that one. I don't necessarily, I thought that the hands were kind of like the doing is overpowering the seeing, but in this card it's like you unearthing something. I don't know. Let's get some more information. So what is this flow? What is this flow? What is this flow? Challenge or opportunity. 9 of Swords here in the reverse. Yeah. So the Nine of Swords in reverse, I feel like this is part of your challenge. I feel like you're maybe already in this process of releasing the worry and the fears and the stresses that come with slowing down, that come with receiving and not necessarily doing. There could be some regrets here with the Nine of Swords, and that's kind of on your mind. So the challenge is to release the worry, to release the fears and the things that keep you up at night, because that's keeping you stuck in some sort of stagnation or keeping you stuck at this crossroads. What does this revisit in the opportunity? Revisit in this opportunity, please. Seven of Pentacles, yes. I almost feel like I don't have to say anything, but I will. Yeah, there's something that needs to be pruned. I feel like there's a certain... You have harvested a lot from your business. You have had a lot of success, but I feel like there's a few holes in the bucket. And yeah, you have to stop in order to see that. And you have to actually, I almost want to say turn back, like look back, look at the past, look at kind of what you are reaping from the effort, from the investments, from whatever it is that you're doing. Are you getting the rewards that you're looking for? Are you moving closer towards your goals? I think there needs to be a practical assessment of something here. And again, looking at your expenses, I think should be kind of first and foremost, because there could be something there that, you know, you paid for a long time ago, or you're on a subscription, or there's just something there that's not necessarily working. So this is, again, about seeing something, about slowing down to see something, to be able to free up space to transition into something new. Because it's, if you, the analogy that I'm getting is that if you're weaving something, if you're creating something, and you have something that is a little bit off in that creation. So if you are knitting something and you want this thing to be gray, but you have a red thread in there somewhere, and you're just knitting, and maybe you're not even looking at it, you're just doing and going and knitting and weaving, and by the time you finish the sweater, you realize that this red thread was in there. I mean, I don't know if you can actually weave or or knit something with your eyes closed, but that's kind of the feeling that I'm getting. So it's kind of like, okay, we have to identify where the red thread is so that we can make sure that we are in full alignment with where we want to go. We don't have any dead weight kind of holding us back. And that could be metaphorical too. So it could be about revisiting your thought processes or how you think about something as well. We have the Lovers in reverse, with the Page of Cups in reverse at the bottom of the deck. I feel like you might have disconnected from your dreams, or disconnected from the emotional aspects of this business or the process of creation. It's like you might be doing it for the sake of doing it now, rather than doing it from a soul-led place or a heart-led place. Maybe you're doing it from a place of fear, or doing it because this is how it's always been done, so let's just keep going. And the cups are what hold our emotions. It allows us to receive love, receive emotional information, hold space for our emotions. And when it's in reverse, it's like we don't have that vessel to hold that space, to carry our emotions, to bring compassion and empathy, and have that space to receive as well. So it's like a dream got lost, or maybe there's been a disconnect from your intuition, from your sensitivities. The inner child maybe wants to come out to play. So that could be helpful as well. And maybe this disconnection from something will help you reconnect with your inner child in some way. And the Lovers in reverse in your outcome I think that you're going to make some kind of significant decision here at some point. Or maybe you realize that you are disconnected from the love or the passion of the business that you started. Maybe that needs to be realigned again. Maybe new choices, big choices have to be made in order to move forward in a new way, in a more aligned way, because there's some disharmony here that I think you're going to see and you're not going to like, or maybe you're going to understand it a little bit better, but it will allow you to move on. And this is Saturn in Taurus, so this could also be about your values, assessing your values or your business values, and really putting a restriction on or letting go of values or beliefs that no longer serve. So that could be more than just looking at your finances, but you could be assessing a number of things here where something needs to be organized a little bit better. Something needs to be learned. And I think your outcome, you're going to understand what that is. And so there's going to be a big decision that you make eventually. But right now, it is a time to get into a flow state, to not resist it, to not be fearful of it, because it has something to share with you. Pacing yourself, revisiting something are all going to be really important. Because I feel there is some dead weight here that is preventing you from moving forward, or at least making some kind of decision. So this is what I have for you, my dear reading number 3. I do hope these messages were helpful. Let me know in the comments if they were. Until we meet again, stay curious, and I'll see you soon.